Hey everybody, Tom Marks from PC Gamer here with XCOM 2 to give you a more in-depth look at the character customization and what you can do with it, how far it goes, how it progresses through the game, that sort of stuff. So let's jump right in. We have a rookie character here, Lucy Robinson. I just recruited her. So this is a completely randomized character, and I just want to give you an idea of kind of how far that customization can go. So right off the bat, if you go to character info, you can change a lot of just kind of basic stuff, right? Their first name, their last name. Eventually, once they've leveled up, you can give them a nickname. You can write their entire biography if you'd like, and all of this can be changed, and it doesn't really have gameplay impacts. It's just, you know, if you're really getting into role-playing these characters, you can do that. The nationality is pretty self-explanatory. It changes the flag on their back. Then also their gender, I think, would also be self-explanatory. So if you want them to be a guy, not a girl, you can do that as well. And you probably want to change the name, but, you know, I don't judge. So moving on from that kind of superficial stuff, you have a lot of options. It's really amazing. So we're going to start with kind of the face and the hair sort of stuff. So the face, there are all these different facial structures. So you don't have like Sims level of customization in this, right? It's just these presets, and you can choose whichever one you want. So we'll choose a different one. And hair is a similar way, but I mean, hair has never really been a dynamic thing. So you have bald, bangs, you know, you've got a lot of these different styles. There are some really nice ones. There are ones that are only exclusive to guys or girls. So you can you'll miss out on some hairstyles if you do go for a guy or a girl, but that's kind of fine, you know. Everyone has their advantages or disadvantages. And then, so the hair is kind of how you'd expect it. Hair color, there's quite a few options, but this is actually 26 colors, and this is limited. So if we gave her, we gotta go green hair, why not? And we'll go with that, the knitting needle bun. Eye color, all the eye colors, at least in the build I've been playing, start on brown, but you can kind of go crazy with it. They have, again, only 21 colors compared to, you'll see the armor selection is nearly 100. So let's go something weird again. We're just going to make this character look very strange. Race is another interesting choice because race is not just skin color. They've separated race and skin color. Race is kind of like facial structure presets as well. And then skin color modifies that. So you can have a race, you can go to the darker skin race and then make the skin lighter again if you want. It's just the facial structure. I like that they've separated that. It's an interesting little difference. Armor color, you have a couple different armor, like you have a main armor color and a secondary, but before we get into that, let's actually show you the props section, because you can go really in-depth with this stuff too. There's a lot of changes. So we want to keep our bun probably, but there's backwards ball cap, there's beanies, there's this hood, a shamag scarf, and then these helmets. I really like this helmet, but you actually even get better helmets later, and I'll show you a couple of those. So we're going to try to keep our hair, though, because I like that hairstyle. And then we have 6 arm choices. The arm choices you can see range from nothing to wraps to kind of heavy armor, depending on how you want it to look. So we'll make her a little more armored. And then legs is an individual category. And these first 2 legs have mostly your primary color, and you'll see what I mean with this. And the second 2 legs are mostly your secondary color. So if you want, you can have the pants be an entirely different color than the body. And then finally your torso, and there's only 4 options here. But they're relatively different. You know, they are mostly unique in the fact that they're kind of just like pockets, and this one is just kind of the basic armor. The 0 always seems to be like a set that goes well together, right? It's kind of the basic XCOM armor set. We're gonna give her one full of pockets, though. On top of that, you have upper face prop, which is mainly just sunglasses to start and normal glasses. I don't think we want to give her any glasses, though. And then lower face prop. The lower face prop I'm really disappointed by, and it doesn't get much better later, at least initially. But the 3 bandanas kind of look very clunky and don't look very good and very big, and none of them change color with the outfit. Like, they aren't influenced by your secondary color. So I really don't like the bandanas, but you'll see some of the later ones when I advanced character. And then you have your weapon customization. So you can actually put a weapon pattern on, and there's a lot of choices here. I think we might go smiley faces, because the smiley faces are great, but you also have hearts, dots, you have ranging from these kind of very geometric ones to very abstract ones. It's a lot of choice, but once again, you don't want to spend, or I personally don't want to spend too much time on this sort of thing, or on the weapon pattern specifically, because you very rarely do you actually see your weapon pattern, right? You're only doing that on like when it's zooming in, but it does bring you kind of closer to the character. Now, you'll see some locked things, and we'll show you these later, but you can eventually unlock armor pattern, tattoos on both arms, coloring your tattoos, and then scars. But that only comes from when you've advanced your character more. Then you can go to weapon color is here. Or we'll do weapon color first. So I put this hex pattern on. You'll see now there are 93 different colors, and they're really vibrant. I really like that the colors, can be more muted like this, or you can go really, really bright with them. I appreciate that sort of, that choice, that they weren't afraid to just be like, whatever, if you want a neon yellow gun in a stealth situation, we'll give you a neon yellow gun. We're gonna go purple. I like the purple one. It kind of goes with her eyes. I'm just playing dress up while we do this, I'm sorry. We'll go armor color now. So the armor, once again, you have 93 options. You can make everything match your guns, match, the hair color you've chosen, or you can go for more of unique options that just kind of clash, or whatever you want. It leaves you a lot of room to just make mistakes or choices on your own. So we're going to go kind of a burnt orange there, and then the secondary armor color, you see, doesn't really show up too much on these armor patterns, right? So it's just kind of these pockets and the crotch area, basically, and the belt, and these little pouches on her. But if we went, let's say, green to match her hair, and then we went back to props and changed her legs to one of the lower ones I was talking about, you see those have way more secondary color. They don't have any of the primary color, not very much. So you could make it be more prominent that way. You could make your top and your bottom a different color. I'm gonna stick with that one though, just for the sake of demo. Voices, you have a lot of voices, and there's also the option to make the voice match whatever nationality they're from. But besides that, you have American English, UK English, Australian English, French, German, Italian, and Spanish.
Afirmativo.
And
Los gates.
They're all
rolling out.
Well voice acted. I haven't found one that I've
solid copy
particularly disliked.
Solid copy. 10-4.
So we're just gonna stick with English 2. And then attitude is also locked. So her attitude is, you can see she's like hunched over and very like serious about it. That's her intense attitude. And when you level them up, you can eventually get better or different attitudes, not necessarily better. And we can then also do this, which is save the character pool. Name and appearance has been saved to the character pool. So now this will actually show up in random other games, that she can show up randomly now if I start a new game, or you can export her, send her to other people, that sort of stuff. Now, this is kind of a weird-looking character. I went very bright. It's kind of like the Joker colors, but let's show you now a more advanced character. So this is Jane Kelly. She's a character that you actually get in the first mission, just kind of right off the bat, and is a pre-made, but I decided not to change her face at all, and I just kind of gave her new looks. You see how she has an armor pattern in. So let's look at some of the things that she has that you can't have as a rookie. So first of all, see her laid-back attitude. You remember, this was the intense one. Hard luck, was my least favorite, because they're all such downers. Happy-go-lucky is like very, like, just bouncing around. Twitchy's looking around. And then normal and by the book are kind of the most boring ones. But if you want to, you can change their attitudes. And it really only affects mainly, like, when they're standing around pre-mission and that sort of stuff. But it's still nice to see. Then we can go props, and we can look at now all the expanded props. The main thing I want to show off is you do unlock new, like, hats. I really like the headband. You know, the boonie hat is really cool. This helmet I really, really like. I wish this helmet was available for the very beginning in rookies. The hockey mask is kind of terrifying and cool, but she uses, like, a hatchet anyway, so, you know, maybe that would fit her character. On top of that, I haven't found any different arms and torsos yet. Maybe those are unlocked later. I don't want to show you a fully unlocked one because I don't want all spoilers, I don't want to show off everything. Face props is also where it gets way more interesting. You get monocles, you get an eye patch, so you can make, do the eye patch headband and, make your character Solid Snake. You also get piercings, nose rings and lip rings and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, you can only have one upper face prop at a time. And then lower face prop, this is really where you can make Solid Snake. So if you went cigar and cigarette, right? If you go cigar and then put the eye patch on him, and then you go headband, she's obviously not male, but you could get a really good, kind of snake look-alike going. Armor pattern, all of the patterns for the guns are available on the armor too. So you have smiley faces, if you wanted smiley faces all over your armor or hearts all over your armor, you could do that. And then these colors are the primary and secondary armor colors. So if I changed that blue, it would get lighter. So if I go to yellow, and then, I can go down to bright green for the other stripes or bright orange, and suddenly you've got a very, very different looking character than you had before. I haven't seen any voices unlock or anything like that, but you can now also unlock tattoos, which she doesn't have any, or she has sleeves on, so we'll roll up her sleeves for the point of the tattoos. So we go left arm tattoo. You have these, small ones, little tribals, basically, but then also you can have complete sleeves. And these have a color that you can change with them also, so if, you wanted the death sleeve, or if you wanted, let's go earth sleeve, so it's kind of like earth with constellations. And you can go down to tattoo color and actually give her a different colored just one arm, right? And of course that would affect the other arm too if you did that, but it's a nice little, just another layer of things you can add to and change. And then finally we have scars, and you're only allowed to have one scar per person. But these unlock too as you level the person up, and none of them are really horrible, right? Nothing, you're not really gonna find anything that's really grotesque, at least that I've seen. But they are just nice little kind of details, and these don't show up automatically, right? You can put these on your person after they've leveled up to a certain level, so the scars don't show up naturally, and you can kind of just say, oh wow, this person took a beating, I'm going to put some scars on them. So that's all of the character customization, but the last thing I wanted to show you actually was weapon customization, because it does have a little bit of a gameplay bearing. So this is her shotgun, right? And you'll see there's this laser sight on it. And I actually put this as a weapon mod. And when you put a weapon mod on something, it does show up differently on the physical gun. And it's permanent until you replace it. You can't just take off a weapon mod. So you see I have this other weapon mod slot, and if I went in, it would actually change it. So the hair trigger changes what the handle looks like, the stock changes the back end of it, the magazine changes that, you can put the little bullets on the side. So these things, this big old nozzle on the end of a shotgun, these things actually do have visual implications as well as gameplay ones. And then you can name your weapon if you want, and of course you can change your color and your pattern from here. Another nice little thing specifically about this ranger class, which this character is, if I put a pattern on the gun, it will also change the color and pattern of her sword. You can barely see it right there and there in the handle. If I go and put on the previous level of sword, you might be able to see it a little better in the wrapping there. But it's really, there's a lot of detail in this game, and you can make a character look drastically different than they would have otherwise. And of course, nothing is permanent, right? If I decide, Jane Kelly, I don't really like her, I'm going to change her name, I'm going to change her biography, I'm going to make her from somewhere else. Trojan was a randomly generated nickname that the game gave her, and I can change that now. If I suddenly decided I wanted her to be a dude, suddenly Jane Kelly's a guy, and that's fine. You're never locked down. And if you save these guys to the character pool, then you can actually conceivably just make an army of one character if you wanted, and just use all of them on all of one person. Or if this person died, I could just bring them back looking identical, but they'd have weaker stats then. It's a completely unnecessary level of customization, and I love it. I really, really love it. It makes you actually care about your characters in the moment, and it makes you see a unit on the battlefield and want to take care of them more than you would otherwise. So that's the long, in-depth look at what you can do with this character customization. I hope you guys take a longer look at it if you do get the game in February. Be sure to check out PCGamer.com, where we'll have more coverage of XCOM 2 leading up to its release, and thanks very much for watching.